I'm Matt from Business Doctors. I'm the co-founder of Business Doctors. We're a national network of business support providers specialising in small to medium-sized businesses. Obviously, this is a critical time for us, so we're here to support and work alongside Enterprise Nation to give you as much advice and insight we can from sharing all the things that we know and from working with lots of different businesses. Okay, so the first thing to do to raise money is to preserve your cash, because it's just as good to keep what you've got than to actually try and generate more. And right now, we just need to stop paying everybody. There are some exceptions to that, but we do need to just take a look at the flow of cash out of the business and prioritise payment that we can retain. So we must not pay HMRC right now. They would support that statement, I'm certain, because they're going to give you time to pay. There is a helpline set up with HMRC to provide that support. That's probably going to be overwhelmed. So right now, if you've got monies that are due to go, hold them back, retain that cash. You might be able to afford that right now, but in a month or 2 months' time, that cash might be vital to your survival. And that's cash that the government are happy for you to retain. So make sure you retain your cash there. Retain, if you're paying commercial rents to a landlord, then of course, where we've got critical suppliers like that, we need to keep an open dialogue. Right now, relationships are key. So it's important that we communicate with our suppliers before we don't pay them, particularly our landlords. But we need to be quite firm about the fact that if we are not in a position to generate income right now, we haven't got any visibility on that, then we need to tell them that we can't pay them and that we will pay them eventually, but we need some relief. We need a payment holiday. So when it comes to suppliers like landlords, HMRC, and also any existing lenders that you have. So a lot of the lending schemes that are currently in action are supported by ERDF funding, and they are provided by regional finance providers and VCs that actually are utilising ERDF money. So there's a lot of money that businesses have accessed already. Even if the payment is due to go out for your monthly payment, hold that payment. Open the negotiation about a payment holiday. Most of those lenders are offering at least a 3-month holiday, so preserve that cash as well. When it comes to your suppliers, obviously we need to maintain our critical direct suppliers so that we can continue to trade and sell on what we're doing. However, look at those in the context of those that are going to be more inclined to actually be flexible around their payment terms, because the bigger companies, the corporates, those that have the access to the reserves are more likely to give us extended credit terms, and big companies should be supporting their supply chains of smaller businesses and prioritising their payments. If they are your customer, they should be prioritising you. If you are their supplier, they should be prioritising you in terms of the amount of flexibility they give on credit. So, and obviously any public sector supplier, again, should be at the forefront of any flexibility that's being offered. So really take a clear look at what monies you owe and preserve your cash and prioritise those payments only to support other businesses like you that are in the same position that need to be paid to survive. So we need to communicate, we need to maintain an open dialogue. I've heard some horror stories around some suppliers who are thinking really short term. A business that we're working with at the moment told me this morning that their accountant had written to them and said, look, if you don't pay me on time this month, we're not going to organise your payroll, it's not going to go out. Now this is their accountant. So my client's response to that was, thank you very much, we'll find an alternative provider right now, and the whole business that we had with you is gone. So we need to preserve relationships. The integrity of our relationships right now will mean that we will be providing the goodwill to those people that when we emerge from this, because we will emerge from this, those are the businesses that we're going to support. They're the partners and clients and suppliers that we're going to continue to work with, the ones that have demonstrated goodwill and flexibility. So your first priority right now is cash preservation. The second cash generation option, of course, is to really focus on your existing customers. These are the people that are already loyal to us, that like us, that believe in what we believe in, that share our values. They trade with you for a reason. These are the ones that we need to open a dialogue with and understand where their pain is. Let's see where we can help them, support them, maybe with additional services. A lot of these clients may actually be okay. They may be in a position where their businesses are thriving during this time because they happen to be in a sector that is in higher demand. So let's find out what their pain points are, let's pivot our business around their needs, and let's see how we can maximise and retain our current customers, and where possible grow revenues from those that are actually in a good position right now, to replace the revenues from the ones that won't be able to continue to buy from you or pay you. So existing customers are key. And we then need to think about how we can be agile as a small business, because one of the advantages we have in SME land is that we can be agile. We can change quickly, we can make decisions right now. Big corporates can't shift like that. They have to make decisions through many different layers of organisation. We can be agile, we can change what we do right now, overnight. And if we can identify opportunities with businesses that are where we can change our proposition slightly to open up new opportunities and pivot what we do. A lot of this is becoming digital. In our business, we're about providing business support. We can't do that face-to-face anymore. We're having to do all of our work via digital platforms to continue that opportunity and to continue the support we provide. We have to think out the box. We have to be resourceful right now and think about how we can be more agile to do more business. So it's all about, that's the positive side of cash generation. But then when we've done all this work, we really need to put it into some kind of short-term plan that has a cash flow attached to it. Easier said than done. When you're running around looking after your customers and your staff and you're reorganising what you're doing and you're working from home, it's tough. We know that, but if you're going to raise finance, you need to have a control of your position. You need to map out what your revenue is going to look like over the next 3 months, what your costs are, where your cash is, so that when you go to the bank and look for some of these government-backed guaranteed schemes like the C-bill opportunity, which we know is being afforded to us as a guaranteed, 80% guaranteed loan by the government, we can actually go there with a coherent story that says, look, this is where we are now, this is our current revenue projection, it might be nil, and that's okay. But as long as we can demonstrate the growth coming off the back of this situation and how we emerge from it, and we can demonstrate that we've got control of it, we know when we're going to start generating income again, and we can put a case forward with a shortfall and understand how much cash we actually need. So that's tough. That's something that business doctors, obviously working alongside Enterprise Nation, are keen to make sure you have access to that support and help to do things like that, because right now you've got other priorities, and we're very happy to provide that and give you some access to that support, which we can talk about later. Right now, I think as business owners and leaders, we need to demonstrate a bit of leadership, and we need to really communicate and engage our teams. So whether they're with us or not, they're remote, or if we currently have them available face-to-face, then great. But if we don't, we still need to engage them with the short-term plan around how we're going to operate over the next 3 months, where our clear objectives are, what we're trying to achieve, and what their role is in making sure that we can continue to trade through this situation. So communication is key, engaging them, getting their ideas and input, not just telling them what we're going to be doing. They do need direction, they need leadership, they need protecting and supporting. So that's critical. And then once we've got that alignment and buy-in effectively, we need to make sure that whilst they're at home, we're obviously equipping them properly to be remote workers and giving them the right technology if we can. So it's going to be tough. So on Monday, I'm going to have my wife, my 2 kids at home. We're all working from home. It's going to be very distracting, and it's going to be a new situation for our family, which is, we're going to have to sort of get used to it, and so your staff. So instead of sort of just denying that's going to happen and expecting people to do a full 8-hour shift, we need to work around it. We need to enable them to have some flexibility. And ideally what we should do is at least have a single point in the day where we come together on a Zoom call or a Skype call or whatever platform you'll use to have a group meeting, everybody on it, the whole team, so you can discuss what the priorities are, you can support each other, you can give each other support and advice, and you can set some daily sort of goals for things that you need to achieve that day. In that way, it doesn't matter when they do them, whether they do them at 8 o'clock at night when the kids have gone to bed, or they do them during the day. We just got to give people the flexibility to do what they need to do when they need to do it, and reorganise their working time. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to get, people are just going to hunker down and nothing will happen. So that's I think communication is absolutely critical. So we're here right now to support you. We know it's a tough time. We're happy to pay it forward, gift you some of our time to give you one-to-one advice via the telephone, via a Skype or a Zoom call, help you understand and assimilate your situation. The support that's available is all detailed on our website. If you go to www.businessdoctors.co.uk/don't panic, all of the resources, the contact information is there. We've got some great free tools that you can access and download for free that give you things like daily cash management tools, so you can really control your cash during this difficult time. So we look forward to seeing you there.